You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Well, I'm always serving you content with spiritual awareness. Big ups to everybody. Make sure you hit that like button. Again, I appreciate my mods, my members, my subscribers, and my viewers. If this is your first time ever being here at the lounge and you like today's content, make sure you subscribe, join the family, or join the membership. Only $3 a month. Nevertheless, I appreciate all of y'all for just being here. So let's get into it, right? So I'm sure most of you have heard by now the very funky 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 had a very funky way of how she addressed the situation surrounding Kiki's untimely demise. And as we know, this is a very critical moment in which you lose a loved one. Everybody's really sensitive. Everyone is still in grieving, and it's a very delicate moment for everyone. You have to understand, Kiki has fans. Even though her duration on the show wasn't very long compared to the other cast members, she was somebody's wife and she's somebody's mother. So this definitely was not the time. It was not the time for funky 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 to speak so harshly with such lack of compassion surrounding the events of Kiki's death. Now, whatever his motive was, I did listen to it and I was very floored. I was very dismayed. But the part that really stood out to me like a sore thumb is when he stated that he, basically had a love or some type of friendship with Wanda and Tisha. That right there already had made me flatline. But as a matter of fact, against my better judgment, I'm going to just go ahead and play some of it. I'm not going to play it all because it's too disturbing. And I really don't even like giving clout to anyone. Not that my channel is big enough to give clout. But nevertheless, I think it's just better for y'all to also hear from yourselves actually how he went in and made the statements he made surrounding Kiki's death. It was not nice. It was not pleasant at all. But I'm gonna see if I can find it and let y'all listen to some of it yourself. Maybe you may have a different assessment. Maybe you may receive the message different. I was very offended by it. Maybe y'all will not be. So we'll just go ahead and play a snippet of it. I'm not going to play the whole thing out of respect for Kiki's family, because anytime somebody speaks this ill of somebody's deceased loved one, the last thing we need to do is exploit it and make this content material, because it's really not. It's demeaning, it's degrading, and it's very incompassionate, for those who are still grieving. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can play just a snippet of it, and again, I'm not going to play the whole thing. So I'm going to be playing this content a snippet of what 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 stated in regards to Kiki and how he felt about her passing. I got this from content creator by the name of The Messy Sweet Spot. One of the very few queens that I do kind of listen to here and there. So if you really want to just hear the whole thing, you're welcome to go view it through that particular content creator. But let's get into it. Let's go. And as usual, I will be interjecting to limit the copyrights. So let's get it.
Anguish that she experienced as a result of being on that show, and here is why. Because it's not like, oh, she was originally casted on the show and then all of this accidental stuff happened to her. No. Your cousin was on that show, minding her doggone business, doing her doggone thing. You wanted to be in the mix so bad that you were willing to even cross your cousin and go over there to the dark side. You went over there to the dark side, all right, and then you got to messing around over there, and they kicked your behind off the show after you were used and did your dirty work and your devilment. Then I guess the internet must have ate your behind alive, and it became more than you can bear. I am sorry. I have a very hard time feeling bad for people with their self-induced issues.
Oh, God.
Now, my thing is, even if that is the case, is this appropriate right now? Is this the time? The woman hasn't even been in the ground. Not even, I guess, I'll say not even been a week. Why are you saying this? Why this woman has not even been buried long? They just had her funeral, okay? My thing is, do you not have any respect for her husband, for her children? They was not on the show. If you don't respect Kiki, at least respect the family who has lost someone very dear to them. The problem with blogging, let me be honest. The problem as a blogger is that we so badly want to get the tea. We so badly want to be heard. We want so badly, while the topic is hot, while it's on fire, we feel it's necessary where we just have to say and speak our mind, not understanding that sometimes you have to have what's called discernment and realize that even though this would be the time to do it, being that everybody's talking about it, being that this is a hot topic, it does not mean that it should be addressed. It should have been addressed, period. But at the end of the day, everybody's grown. They're going to do what they want to do. You could at least waited a couple of months down the line. Okay, I mean, out of respect, I didn't say what I wanted to say because I knew the family was grieving. But this is my opinion. I felt blase, bah. By then, everybody would have had time to process and at least heal through it. But the fact that the woman ain't even been in the ink ain't even dry on her death certificate. This is the problem with bloggers who have a large amount of subscribers, who have a large fan base. They feel they have this sense of superiority in which they don't have to care what they say, when they say it, how they say it, and who they say it to. Because why? I'm 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, but I'm that chick. I'm that queen that everybody listens to. So I can say what the hell I want to say when I feel like saying it, even if it means not having respect for the deceased one's children. She has children. When the first son or daughter hear you speak of their mother like this? She has a husband. The woman has a family who absolutely did nothing wrong to anyone. If you felt some type of way with Kiki, that it is what it is. You're going to have to find it within yourself to come to peace with that. But what about her family? Kiki's not here to apologize and say, you know what, I probably could have handled things differently. You know what? She's not here. And nothing burns my spirit more than for people who have deceased and passed on to be with the Lord, when everybody wants to come out talking about how they ain't this, they ain't that. They did the same thing with Whitney Houston, and it made me very angry. I know this is beside the point. But I'm just switching lanes a little bit. Like when Bobby Brown and his wife did that movie with Bobby Brown, and the way he had narrated Whitney being this crazy, psycho, overbearing wife that allowed their daughter to just do whatever she wanted to do. I did not like how when Bobby Brown and his wife, which was not there through every moment of Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown's marital issues, she also played a part in how that movie was produced by putting in her 2 cents. And it just really rubs my spirit wrong when someone has passed and went on, and now all of a sudden you putting out all of these narratives. You putting out tell-all books, you're putting out movies, you're doing seminars, basically promoting your own narrative about what this person is and how you feel about this person. Not having any respect for the family that's left behind, the family who's still grieving. Like I said, when Bobby Brown them did that movie, not caring that Whitney Houston's mother was still living. Yeah, okay, you want to tell your truth. You want to tell your side of the story. But there's a time and a place for everything. And why not address that? This is what I plan on doing, and at least have empathy and sympathy for the loved ones and let them know I'm going to tell my truth. You might find this offensive, but I'm just out of respect. I want to ask how you feel, or if I know I'm going to do it anyway, I'm at least respectfully let the family know, hey, I'm sorry for your loss, but I am going to address this. I am going to speak on this. And if later on you would like to come back and respond to what I said, then I'll give you the free rope to do it. My thing is 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, by you being this big time blogger, you should at least have the decency to at least allow the family time to grieve. This ain't the time about views. This ain't about trying to clout chase for Wanda and Wanda Jr. That is beside the point. This woman's family is grieving. Her children woke up this morning with their mama not here. Her husband woke up this morning with his wife not here. This whole family, their whole life is different permanently and definitely. And they already going to have to adjust to the loss of their loved one. And the fact that you just so much of a queen, you don't know when to take the damn take the crown off and put it aside. This was a very, very toxic queen move that does not look good on your part. But we're going to continue letting the queen speak.
None of what Kiki went through had to be. It was all self-induced. And secondly, I'm sorry. You are in charge of your mental well-being, your mental health, your esteem. If you already knew your esteem was towed down to the ground.
Who are you? When did you get a degree in psychology? Who are you to diagnose what Kiki's issues were? Queen. Who are you to diagnose that? Are you a professional psychologist? Are you a certified mental health physician? No, what you are is a blogger. No, what you are is a friend of Wanda and Wanda Jr. in the Scots. So none of what you're saying right now holds enough weight for you to be diagnosing that this woman already had issues. Guess what? We all got goddamn issues. I got issues. 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 has issues. You have issues too, sir. And the more and more, the bigger your popularity becomes, the more your issues are starting to manifest. And you better be careful before you fall into what's called the Wendy Williams curse. All this talking and dragging folks. And next thing you notice, your skeletons coming out. Your issues coming out. Because it seems like the older 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 gets, the more and more reckless he gets with his mouth. He never used to be like that, but views and once people start increasing in subscribers, so do their ego. And so do their mouthpiece. They don't know when to put the crown down. And that's what this queen needs to do, is put the crown down, because he's not certified in diagnosing Kiki's issues. You ain't even been close enough to Kiki to know mentally what this woman has gone through and what she endured. You only know her from what most of us know her from through the show, from what you saw, and we know how these shows, they don't show everything, and also from what Wanda and Tisha them done told you. That's the only thing that's the only references you have to go off on in order for you to make your assessment, which is not valid enough for you to be up here diagnosing what Kiki's problems are. Let's continue.
If you already knew you was unstable and fragile, then you shouldn't have ran your behind up on that TV. And moreover, you shouldn't have ran up on the TV doing dark, nasty, dirty stuff that eventually came back to bite your behind in the butt.
Okay, so nobody else on that show did anything dirty? For one, Kiki was only on the show for a hot minute. The other castmates who been on the show, who had more a longer amount of of viewings, being that they had been on the show for a longer duration, seems like to me just about everybody on the show in some form or another have done something sneaky, have done something dark, and we know for a fact Tisha, Kimmy, the Scotts, they are not clean. They are no more clean than Wanda's food truck. Okay, this we know. So why are you only calling Kiki out? Kiki has not been on that show long enough for you to make an overall assessment. But we've seen Tisha and Kimmy, the Scotts, from season to season to season, do a lot of dirty, say a lot of dirty, underhanded couple things. But see, you're so up the Scotts behind that you can't see the fire from the smoke. And it's funny how you bring heat to everybody on that show except them Scotts. I don't know what kind of alliance you got. I don't know if they gave you full-time membership at the Black Club. Well, no, that can't be because they don't have the Black Club anymore. But something about the Scotts to where they have a strong hold on you. For some reason, you are so drawn to them. You came from Melody. Then you backtrack and said Melody was cool. Then you backtrack and said, no, the Scotts didn't do Melody wrong. Queen, you are all over the place. You go whatever direction where the wind blows. And I'm finding it very difficult to even respect your perspective on things, because you have just flipped more than a spatula at IHOP Pancakes place. You done did a lot of flipping. And the fact that you already acknowledge how cool you are with the Scotts, that already lets me know you're very biased. So at this point, I don't expect you to have any empathy for what this woman's family is going through, because you are on the Scotts bandwagon. Or should I say the scams, since they got these lawsuits that they never want to talk about. But let's continue.
I am sorry that her family is grieving. Wow. I am sorry that this woman didn't have any better ways to cope.
Girl, it's getting dark. It's getting dark. Did you guys?
Okay, so as you can see, he's still really, really going in. And it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. I know the family is grieving. In other words, F how y'all feel. That's what he's really saying. F y'all feelings. F that you lost your wife. F that you lost your mother. F everybody. It's the audacity for me. The lack of compassion. The lack of empathy and sympathy. But I'm going to continue to play the messy spot, sweet spot, and let her share her little perspective as well.
The latest from Funky.Neva. Funky Bunch, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Funky Bunch, where y'all at? Say now. Honey, I was over to Empress Radio. Shout out to her. Shout out.
And that's where I got my information from.
A lot of people
also.
said that.
See.
We gotta talk about
trying to get to the main
Kiki
point
from Love and Marriage Huntsville. So when the news broke that Kiki had passed,
I had to fast forward, y'all.
I think a day or two went by. Nobody knew anything. No one knew anything. Then one of her friends or somebody close to her, in an effort to refute the fact that she overdosed, or in an effort to refute the rumors, not the fact, the rumors that she overdosed, said friend / person revealed that Kiki was found in her car running, unresponsive,
Fair
in
use.
the garage.
Fair use.
Wow.
Now, obviously, the woman hasn't even been deceased for a week yet. You know, everybody's trying to be relatively respectful and not right.
Everybody except
they
you.
said she's not even the ground yet.
Presumptuous things
Okay,
on
so
the
she hasn't
internet
been
because
dead.
the family has to see it. But each and every one of y'all would be a doggone lie if the moment y'all didn't hear found unresponsive in car in enclosed garage, died from CO2 poisoning, that we did not think suicide. All right.
This is my thing. Why would you discuss this now? Like they said, I think they posted this 3 hours ago. Okay, so she's not even in the ground good as we speak. I don't know. Y'all can correct me on that. I heard they had a funeral. The Scots showed up or something like that. But then I'm hearing they didn't bury her yet. Y'all confirm it. I don't keep up with all of these different narratives that's going on surrounding Kiki's death. You know, rest in peace to her. But my thing is, why are you even discussing this right now? This is not the time to even have an assessment. Let's go.
I can see that. What y'all think? He got a point right there.
Even then, the family is grieving. We don't need to be diagnosing how this woman died. We're not doctors. We're not professionals. We don't work for the morgue. We're not in funeral homes and none of that. That's not for us to be discussing.
It's funny because y'all know I love the Scots and I love Wanda, but my relationship aside, if
that already that shut down the camp for me. When he said my love for Wanda, my love for the Scots, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not even going to play it. Again, this is the messy sweet spot. If you want to hear the rest of that, you're more than welcome. I'm not even about to entertain the shenanigans of the Queen, which brings me to the point of me doing this content. Again, hit that like button. Again, rest in peace to Kiki. And I pray that God covers this family because unfortunately, you have a lot of people out here like Funky Dineva who does not know their place, who does not understand that their opinion should not even be included at this point in time. So we pray that God gives this family comfort to be able to endure all of the negative publicity surrounding Kiki, because she's not here to defend herself. And it doesn't matter how much her family comes on live to try to defend her, to try to maintain her character. It's still going to be people that's going to try to drag this woman through the mud, make her look bad. They're not going to let her leave here peacefully without trying to sabotage her name. And this celebrities go through this as well. We've had many of legends, people we love, that have passed on, and unfortunately everybody, it just gave everybody fair game to have their own opinions, even good or bad. And it's something we all going to experience one day. One day when it's my turn, your turn, whenever the good Lord calls us home, everybody's not going to have a good story about you. That's just what it is. You know, you can't please everybody. Everybody doesn't love you. Everybody is not fond of you, no matter how kind you've been, no matter all your good works. People are going to mostly remember most of your bad, most of your shortfalls, and that's just something, you know, you have to make peace with God on that before that moment even comes, right? But to the issue at hand, why the Queens really don't have the best interest. I notice a lot of these queens, and these are men that are considered biologically, by nature, to be men. However, they choose to live the lifestyle of a woman, meaning acting like one, talking like one, dressing like one, building friendships with women. And I would definitely say everybody is free to be who they are, free to embrace their own sexuality, embrace their own sexuality. If you are part of the alphabet committee, you have that right to love who you love, to be who you are. It is not in my place or anybody else's place to demean people that want to be different, to demean people that want to love the same sex or be with the same sex, or people who just enjoy living to be what they weren't born to be. You have some women who were born women but want to be men. They dress like men, they act like men, they carry themselves as men. And you have men who want to be women. They carry themselves as women, dress as women. Some have gone so far as to getting surgery to become the physical image of a woman. And I think everybody has the privilege to live their best life. Enjoy doing you. Don't let nobody make you feel bad or belittle you for your choices. If that's what makes you happy, that's what makes you happy. This is my problem. You have a lot of these queens that have learned how to capitalize off of the weaknesses of women, because women, we are emotional by nature, and we're always gravitating towards anything that seems inviting to us. If someone speaks to us, seems nice to us, seems like they're for us, they laugh with us, they joke with us, they gossip with us, we automatically gravitate towards feminine energy. And feminine energy doesn't necessarily have to be from a woman that's biologically a woman. That feminine energy could be from a man who has adopted the lifestyle of a woman. Now, there's been one or two queens that I was particularly friends with, and they were really, really, really cool individuals. They respected me as a woman. They treated me as a woman. And they knew, even though they lived the lifestyle of a woman, underneath that they were men. So just certain barriers they knew not to cross. They knew not to, basically badger me in a sense of things that they biologically did not have. Like, for instance, meaning like, they didn't pretend to have a menstruation. They didn't pretend, that they was cramping, or, they just knew, not to insult my intelligence, if you will. I'm not sure if I could analyze that or break that down any further, but if I figure another analogy I can utilize to break that down to y'all, I will do that. But anyway, my point is, some of these queens, they know their place. They know how to embrace women in friendship and business partnership, and still know that there's just certain lines you do not cross. Okay? However, now that a lot of these queens are making their way into the industry, meaning a lot of them are taking up space into the celebrity world as bloggers, as gossipers, as producers of reality shows. Now that a lot of them are getting are entering in spaces in which they have a lot of pull or leverage, they're using it more against us than they are using it for us. At the end of the day, these queens, biologically, by nature, through God's design, they are men. And the problem is with a lot of these queens that I'm starting to notice is that although they act like they have this love for us, that they embrace us as women, they will invite us to their shows. They will invite us to do interviews. They will invite us in hopes of them being able to benefit off of us. And I get it. That's part of the industry. It's called networking. We all get close to certain people, build a bond, start a partnership in order to start something, a brand, or some type of business venture in which all of us could capitalize off of. But what rubs me wrong with some of these queens is that they use their feminine, they use fake feminine energy to make us believe they have our best interests. Okay? They will build friendships, get close to you, make you feel comfortable, where you let your guard down and you start being very transparent with them about your personal battles. And the dangerous part about these queens is because they have a couple of different cliques going on with them. For one, like I said, biologically they are men. And if you are, in truth is, some black men just do not like black women. Let me just start there, okay? Because I don't want to be. I think I'm trying to play it safe, but in order for me to get my point across, I just have to be direct. A lot of these queens, undercoverly, as black men, they don't like black women, okay? They hate how we look. They hate how we talk. They despise everything about us. Yet, they want to be us, which makes them despise us. If that makes any sense, if you will. Now, because of that, a lot of these queens are confused, and they have a lot of different counterparts going on with them, which makes it difficult to read them, which makes it difficult to be able to have a genuine connection with them. Because that's part of them that I'm a black man and I really don't like you as a black woman, yet I want to become a black woman and live the lifestyle of a woman. I want to wear your wigs. I want to wear your nails. I want to wear your dresses. I want to wear your stilettos. But at the same time, I despise you because I can't be you. So anyway, you have these queens, they get close to you. They learn about you as a woman. And whatever they learn from you as a woman, they use that to try to adopt into their feminine lifestyle in which they are trying to live. In other words, they'll get close to you to learn, how you do your hair, so they can do their hair the same way they learn, about who your surgeons are, so they can get your same surgeon. A lot of these queens will get close to women just so that they can continue to keep learning how to become women. Okay? So, the thing about these type of queens is that because they are still men underneath, yet they are trying to become women, they envy what women can naturally obtain without having to force themselves to become women. So, to give you an example is, you have a lot of these queens who want men to desire them. Okay? Why? Because they're trying to become a woman. And most of the time, these queens are not becoming women just so they can be with women. Okay? A lot of these queens are becoming men so they can be with men, which means they want men to desire them. They want men to be attracted to them. Most queens are not becoming women because they only want women. They only want recognition and admiration from women. Let's be frank, okay? These queens, they may be men, but they want men. They want men to want them. They want men to desire them. They want men to be drawn and attracted to them. So in many cases, because they have this desire of wanting men to seek them as desirable, because women by nature, men are drawn to us by nature because we are women, that's automatically I know I'm trying to formulate the words, ladies. That's automatically going to be jealousy issues. Because truth is, there are a lot of straight men out here who are not into that lifestyle. That you have men who only want to be with women. But the problem with these queens is because they know by nature, women, we have that advantage. We don't have to really dress up for it. We don't have to play the part for it. We don't have to change our voice for it. We're just naturally women. Most men by nature are going to be attracted to us. So, because of that, it automatically gives these queens some type of resentment. You know, and what a lot of them are doing is they're trying to find spaces in which they can crawl in and be accepted by women who aren't hip to the game, who don't really know their motives, who don't really know their agenda. So what a lot of them do is they play the part. They dress like you, act like you, gossip with you, act like they buddy with you. That's what Carlos did with Melody. Okay? They will sit and spill the tea with you. Anything to make you feel comfortable. And the whole time while you're building the bond with these queens, they are looking at trying to figure out how they can destroy you somewhere. And what a lot of these queens do, what they do is, if they know there is rivalry somewhere within your circle, somehow, somewhere, they are going to try to bond with those rivalries. That's what Carlos did. That's what 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 did. A couple of them out here are bonding with arch enemies. Because not all queens, but for these messy queens, they want to try to destroy black women, because the truth is, you want to become one. What better way to become something by destroying the original, the original foundation of what a woman is. A lot of these queens do not like women. They use us as props. And because women are known to be drawn to drama and be messy, they done found a way to get into the messy spaces. And one thing about it, once you can capitalize off of a messy space, that's where you're going to get the majority of the messiness that you need. Think about it. A lot of these queens are in the messy spaces. They are in the messy spaces with the reality shows. They're in the messy spaces with the celebrity gossip, blogging. They know how to find a way into the toxic spaces, because what it does is it gives them leverage. It gives them the advantage in being able to enhance the mess and create more chaos that's already there amongst women. Because the truth is, they really don't have the best interest for women. Because the truth is, a lot of these queens, they want to be women. And honestly, like I said, you're up against two things. You're up against these queens who, one, don't like women, and two, want to become one. So while you're embracing them, you're going on their shows, you're inviting them to your food truck, the moment you cross them, you make them mad, they gonna spill all the beans. They gonna tell it all. Don't think for a second any of these queens got authentic love. If y'all think for a second 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 really has love for the Scots, let the Scots cross him. Let Tisha cross him. Let Wanda, let any of them cross him. He's going to air every single thing they ever did. And see, one thing about the Scots try to be all right with people who they know too much about them. They play it safe. That's why they buddy with 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. But all it takes is one small misunderstanding, and the queen gonna turn all the way up. No different than Carlos. See, a lot of these queens are secret keepers until you make them mad. Only way a lot of them play it safe with you if they know you got too much on them. If Carlos knows you have a lot on him, he's not going to really try to challenge you in 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 and all of that. Not only that, believe it or not, a lot of these queens, the reason why they're so messy because they have a hard time with finding people to genuinely love them. You have to realize that type of lifestyle is very confusing because you're a man, but you want to be with a man. But at the same time, you want to be embraced as a woman. And it's not too many people out here in the world that is willing to deal. Now, anybody, listen, love has no limits, okay? Whether you gay, straight, bisexual, love has no limits. Love is endless, right? However, some of these queens are so messy, other men don't even want to be with them. I've yet to find out any relationship 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 has been in. With his mouthpiece and his attitude and his arrogance, what man, even an alphabet man, is going to deal with that? I rarely ever hear him talk about, I got a man, I got a friend, I'm just leave it at that. Same thing with Carlos. A lot of the reason why a lot of these queens are so messy because nobody wants to deal with them. Nobody wants to build with them. Nobody wants a relationship. And the thing about it is, being a human being by nature, whether you gay, straight, or whatever, you want to be loved. You want a companion. I'm not saying if you single, you down and out and this and that, but I'm just saying, naturally speaking, you have a desire to want to be loved, to want to be wanted. And I think the problem with some of these queens is they have a hard time finding love. Nobody wants to deal with them. Think about it. Their attitude, how much they contradict themselves. They so messy. No man or woman will ever want a relationship. I think a lot of them are low-key miserable because they want a man and men ain't checking for them like that. And it's not even so much because of their sexual orientation. Just the fact that they messy. I don't think Carlos or 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, I don't think neither one of them can find anybody that's going to deal with them. Man or woman. Now, women that deal with them as far as on the show, business-wise and stuff like that, but relationship-wise, nobody wants to be bothered with them. I think they're very complicated. I think they're very sassy. So sassy that even the alphabet committee don't even want to deal with these types. Because they don't know when to put the crown down. You want to be a messy queen. They're traveling in spaces in which they can cause confusion. They create a hostile environment in which there's a lot of backstabbing. Listen, some of us may have worked. You might have had a supervisor that was a queen. You may have had a co-worker that was a queen. A couple of experience I've had, they are very, very, very extra. Especially when it comes to women, because they despise the fact that they can't be us anyway. So any moment there's conflict arises or there's a disagreement, they can't wait to be in on it. They can't wait to have an opinion on it. Some of these queens, they probably don't even have a relationship with their own family. Some of them got mommy issues, daddy issues. And the reason I say that is because when you are in that type of lifestyle, sometimes, unfortunately, your family does not support you. And it can make you very bitter. It can make you very hostile and very angry. When you make that decision to come out, sometimes if people don't embrace that. I rarely hear these queens talk about their mama, their daddy, their family, and they really can't because a lot of them, they really don't even get along with them. Their family has nothing to do with them. So what they do is they take that anger and that resentment and they bring it into the workspaces. They bring it into these reality shows. They get a kick out of watching other people constantly at war with each other because it makes them feel good about themselves. Carlos done produced for Bravo and for OWN Network. And it seems like everything he's ever produced has been up under the foundation of women attacking each other. Women going after each other. A lot of these queens are puppet masters when it comes to how black women operate with each other. They are the ones pulling the strings. They throwing a rock and hiding a hand and acting like they don't know what the hell going on. We done seen Carlos lie, contradict himself so many times. 1 minute, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 was for Melody, then he's not, but he likes Wanda Jr. and Wanda. They just really don't have our best interests. And it's up to some of you to not be so thirsty, to want to get on a reality show, to want to so badly to be on their podcasts, do their interviews that, listen, we can shut these queens down just by not supporting their brand. Just by not being cast members of their show. Because a lot of these people who we done made big, they done forgot that we the same ones who can make them small again. Diddy thought he was big, but now he realizing how small he is, because once we started pulling out support, stop playing his music, stop inviting him to the concerts and stuff, the same people who make you can break you. A lot of these queens need to be broken. But y'all so badly want the tea, want the gossip. Y'all are willing to support these queens at the expense of black women being disrespected. They got to be taken down a peg or two. They need to be reminded. Yes, we embraced y'all because we thought y'all had love for us, but since we know you don't, we gonna have to stop embracing y'all and allowing y'all in our circle, allowing y'all in our spaces. You give these queens an opportunity to be on your podcast, to do a show, they start acting up. Look how they did Claudia and all of them with the what the hell they call the show. It's gonna come to me. You give these queens an opportunity to be embraced by women, to be embraced in women's spaces. And then when they get over there, they start acting like they more womanly than you. Start shaming you about things that you are naturally supposed to have as a woman. Shaming you about not having kids. You a man. What is you? You should not be making a mockery out of women not being able to produce or have children. Why are you making a mockery out of women putting on weight and all of that? See, that's that undercover hating black man that's underneath that fake feminine energy y'all try to display to make women believe that y'all really have a love for us, that y'all really embrace being within our circle. Oh, Fox Soul, Cocktails with Queens. Anytime you let them in a space, you give them, some type of position. They come in there humble, but then they start getting out of pocket. They degrading you as a woman. They shaming you, body shaming you as a woman. You can't talk about how big my hips and my butt is. I'm a woman. You're a man. Of course, you ain't got to worry about your butt and your hips and your tits and stuff expanding on you. You don't have them. How dare you body shame women who get administration? How dare you body shame women who can't have children? You're a man. You can't have children either. Not naturally, by nature. Who are you to talk about women's hair, women's wigs, when in many cases some of y'all wear them yourselves? Women biologically, we go through things that men don't go through. We go through hair loss. We go through weight gain. We go through menopause. We go through different things that a man should not even be opinionating on, especially a man who's trying to be a woman. It's a contradictory for me. It's already, let's be frank, the lifestyle itself is contradicting. Because you're a man, but you're trying to dress like a woman. But at the same time, you're a man and you won't, and trying to dress like a woman, but then you're trying to trash and bash authentic women, genuine women, calling us fish, trying to insinuate that our vajayjays have a smell. Well, you don't have a vajayjay to know how a woman's pH balance, how her body operates with her pH balance because of certain medication she takes, or you know, certain type of you know, things that are medically going on with her body that's throwing off her imbalance, or men who are out here fornicating with other women, bringing things back to her, throwing off her pH balance. You know, it just amazes me how we have embraced them to the point to where they think it's acceptable, where they can disrespect us and degrade us, and we allow it. We give them a chair at the table. And my thing is this: we don't have to degrade these queens by disrespecting them, calling them names, and, you know, saying things that are inappropriate, calling them the gag word, rhymes with F, but we call it gag. We ain't got to go through all of that. But what we do have to start doing is we have to stop supporting them. Start, you know, flagging videos. We got to start shutting the operation down because they are really getting out of hand. And those of you who supporting them, just know that you are supporting people who really do not like you. So it's fair to say that you don't mind somebody eating, but you just don't want them eating at your table. And that's how I feel. I don't mind if these queens want to do them and they want to continue trashing, dragging black women, but it don't need to be at the expense of us supporting them. It don't need to be at the expense of us doing interviews with them. It don't need to be at the expense of us, you know, joining a podcast. Problem is, when you embrace these type of individuals, they get the big head and they start running over the very thing they envy and want to become themselves. It's very sad, but a lot of these queens, and you don't have to name them, a lot of them who have these channels, they started off okay, but you can tell when there's an undercover black man hater underneath those wigs and nails and pedicure and stilettos, when they get more and more outraged with saying disrespectful stuff. These black bitchs, these black, when you start hearing them going in all the time, even if they're talking about other black women, that should not move your spirit. That should offend you. It should be an insult. Some of these guys I used to follow, when I started hearing them go in on Melody, and y'all think it's cute, even if you don't like the black woman they going in on, what they saying about her, that's how they feel about all of us. If I'm listening to a queen and he's up there, yeah, she thinks she's this, that old ugly bitch, that old fat bitch. Hell, you probably look at me that same way. How is it they're able to drag us, but then they can capitalize off us? Why? Because he ain't talking about you. He ain't saying nothing about a black woman you like. He ain't saying nothing directly to you. Well, hell, he might as well be. Because the woman he's bashing and trashing, she's black like you. She's a woman like you. You should have a problem with that. Anyway, y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know how y'all feel about these queens. And are we being too sensitive? You know, or are we just taking things too deep? Because, you know, black women, we tend to be overly emotional, you know, and we have a offense filter. We get offended about everything. Or do you feel we need to get to that place to which, you know what, now maybe I didn't look at it that way, but now that my what's the word, now that my awareness is being woken, I see things different now. I think we've been giving them too much leverage in our spaces. We've given them too much leeway to the point to now they don't think they even have to respect us at this point. They don't even think they have to be careful with how they address us. The body shaming. Talking about wigs. Talking about things that we as women naturally are enjoy, which makes us women. We like to get our hair braided. We like to, wear a little false eyelashes, whatever the case is. Who are you as a man underneath the image of a woman? You wearing wigs? Are you folding your legs? You cry because you got them ones, they don't dress like women like Carlos, but they act like women. You try to soften your voice like a woman. You sit with your legs crossed like a woman. It amazes me how we allow these queens to get away with doing what they do with us. And we take it. We accept it. I say we start shutting down the camp and we make these queens humble themselves. But hey, all sisters ain't on the same page, because some of us aren't spiritually woke and some of us are spiritually broke. But anyway, leave your opinion below. Let me know what y'all think about this. It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. And I will be talking with y'all soon. Be blessed. Take care.